What exactly is life supposed to be in a plane of existence that everyone's asleep for the most part, unconscious, and this place is controlled by pure evil, and has been for a very long time. It's just that those of us that are awakened to it have been waking up in the last, 10, 15, 20 years. As I've said before, taking the proverbial red pill wakes you up to the nightmare that this reality is, and exposes you to some of the deeper and seemingly more crazy truths of this reality. From the history of our origins, genetic modification back then, through the ages, even up until now. What is life supposed to be when you realize that you are part of a species that quite literally doesn't know itself, doesn't actually know what created us, doesn't actually understand the agendas for mankind by those that created us? So in their unaware, unconscious state, they stay blissfully happy, full of goals and aspirations of all these things they're going to accomplish. What is life on this planet when you realize that you're part of a species that has been so overwhelmingly mind-controlled that we can't even wake each other up? We can't even point at the truth to our fellow men and women and expect that they're actually going to see it, and if they see it, that they're actually going to believe it, because they've been so brainwashed, indoctrinated, and mind-controlled that even when they're standing in the face of the truth, even when they're looking at it in the face, the human population won't even recognize it. And you just gotta wonder what it is that's done that to us. And I know on this planet, we've got Jews, Jesuits, the Vatican, Illuminati families, the blinds, the royal families, the media perpetuating lies, the misinformation, disinformation, fear agendas, etc. But when you really know what's going on, we have lived in a construct that has been so laden with pure unadulterated evil, and the vast majority of the people that surround us don't even know it. Religiously minded people want to believe that there's some savior, some loving deity in the sky that's looking over them, guiding the path of their lives, or spirit guides or guardian angels that are watching over and protecting you. Meanwhile, children are getting raped and murdered. But hey, your guardian angels are looking out for you, and your spirit guides are guiding you, and your ancestors are guiding you. But how much evidence is there for that, other than what people want to believe because it feels good? What does life really mean in a plane of existence, in a construct where the vast majority of the information made available has been perverted, inverted, watered down, diluted, and changed? Our history has been changed, and you just gotta wonder where that dynamic ever actually manifested. To be manipulated, what value does life have where all the lessons that you learn are stripped from you, and you will be wiped and disconnected from any of the previous lessons that you learned from previous lives, and you will be imbued what this place has had to offer humankind for the all of known recorded human history has been cycle after cycle after cycle after cycle of war and destruction and killing, pestilence, plagues, lies, deception, deceit, manipulation, brainwashing, brain programming, religion, and on and on. What is life for the human? The meat sacks that are the crash test dummy for something that is outside of us. It's the journey of the soul, and the soul is here to learn things. Why would you create a construct and put sentient humanoid life in it, and then just torment the shit out of them? This place is a loosh farm. The energy that we put out feeds something outside of us, and that we are just another link in the food chain of life. The way we're made, mental, emotional, psychological, energy-based beings, born ignorant, easily stimulatable, stimulate the human into the negative place, and the emotion starts kicking in, and we start emoting, and energy starts to flow out of our bodies. Nothing here teaches human beings. Nothing here ensures that the human species isn't manipulated throughout the entirety of its developmental processes. Meaning, no God, no angels, no guardian angels, no spirit guides, no nothing. And in the state that they've driven humanity to currently, humans clearly aren't even willing to protect themselves, in that the evil that has risen its head on this planet and began to show its face so overtly is clearly destroying all of our societies, the national sovereignty of all countries, and basically a substantial portion of our way of life. Now, there were many flaws about our way of life and how things are done. Oh, in this construct, the evil has been in control. We just didn't know it. It is responsible for building all of the systems that destroy the earth, toxify the earth, from the oil industry to the plastics industry, the chemicals that they use to poison the earth, the poisoning of the air, the poisoning of the food with genetic modification, GMOs, Monsanto and Bayer and all these other companies. Yet the people that built these systems won't let these systems go away when humans rise to a level of knowledge, awareness, and ability to figure out another way to do something like free energy, cars that run on hydrogen. These big corporations take the technology, hide it, prevent it from going public, and then the system that we exist in gaslights humankind and tells us that we're the plague upon the earth. Think about that for a second. We are born into this world where these systems already existed, yet we're told that we're the ones that are responsible and that we have to modify our behavior, and the gaslighting that continues to destroy the minds of humans and absolutely rape their perception continues unchecked. What people believe is God is not coming to save us. What people believe is Jesus is not coming to save us. Guardian angels that people believe exist aren't here to save us, to help us. Spirit guides aren't here to save us and help us. So we have to save ourselves. The evil that has risen its head has revealed itself, made itself on some levels much more vulnerable now, because now we can see it, and now we know who to go after, and in a lot of cases we know where they are. So if this world is going to change, we have to change it. If the evil is going to be conquered, then we have to conquer it. If anything is going to happen that is going to benefit humanity in any meaningful way, humanity has to take action. Because the evil that has controlled this planet has run so rampant upon the earth for so long, so why are we not looking out there, seeing what they're doing, and becoming willing to do what's necessary to leave future generations of humankind some type of a world that any of us would actually say, yep, I'd be okay living there and living a life there and existing there? The only way that that reality will manifest into existence is if we as a human species collectively make that happen. It seems abundantly clear to me that something engineered us for this, engineered a myriad of limitations into the human species, absolutely on purpose. And all of those limitations were engineered to prevent us from rising in awareness, in consciousness, in ability, while the vast majority, the herd, will not. Pure evil that built this place, for its sick, twisted, sadistic, and psychopathic purposes, decided to engineer a race of sentient beings that were capable, so they could make them slaves, so that this has been done on purpose. And why nothing has come to help humans, protect humans, guide humans, teach humans. None of that pie-in-the-sky shit that the indoctrinated mind wants to believe, because it feels good. Everything here wants to control the entire human species. It wants to control your thoughts, your behaviors and actions, what you think, what you believe. That is a level of total and complete control that shouldn't exist anywhere. That this is actually manifesting. That we are all sitting around like a deer in the headlights as this manifests right in front of our eyes. And the herd still doesn't get it, still doesn't move. And at this point, every single solitary human being should be in the process of taking over all of the systems that they have created. But we're not. Nothing is coming to save us. Nothing is coming to enlighten us. God certainly isn't bitch-slapping humanity into a state of awakening so that its precious creation stand up for itself and thrive and grow like some loving creator. None of that is actually taking place. And there is no evidence that we have anyway, that those types of things have ever happened ever in human history. And on top of all the manipulation that exists here, and the evil manifest into this 3D reality, we were actually created to be a source of food, a source of sustenance, a source of nourishment. And because we're sentient and capable of logic and reason and intelligence, it won't tell us this, and it has purposefully and willfully deceived humankind on the most foundational level of our existence: perception, beliefs, knowledge, our comprehensions. Now, I am not sitting here in some state of negativity, but what I am doing is sitting here and thinking deeply about everything that humankind believes, has been told. We are the most manipulated species. Manipulated in just about every way that you could possibly be manipulated, deceived, lied to, and every toxic, deceptive malignancy that exists and has persisted in many cases for hundreds of years. If we knew this, collectively, it's entirely likely that we would rise up, and that what goes on here is actually allowed to continue to go on here. The evil in this world clearly does not follow any rules. It does what it wants, how it wants, the way it wants, and it doesn't care. So the evil, in whatever form it manifests, the supposed good ones just sit back and watch and do nothing. We're a species that has been manipulated for thousands of years. We might need a little help. The vast majority of the humans on this planet are in such a low state of consciousness, they're not even aware of what's going on. They do not have the ability to perceive the truth and discern it from falsehood. And nothing comes to help humankind. But on the flip side of that coin, every goddamn manifestation of evil that exists are having their way with us. There are those of us that are human, that see, that know what needs to be done, that would be willing to do things. But for any one of us to go and try and take action, it would be a suicide mission. Therefore, what can we do? Especially if we need to band together in mass, and the mass is not conscious enough or awake enough or perceptive enough to realize that this is even the case. Nothing will come, nothing has come, to empower humans that are awake to be effective or anything. Nothing has come to help us. Nothing has come to intervene. Nothing has come to assist, to empower anyone. Those that are awake, those that are asleep, the good, spirits, angels, aliens, whatever it is that people believe. Nothing has come to offer a helping hand. There is actually anything out there that is benevolent, that we live in a dark universe. We exist in a very dark universe that is wholly and completely controlled by evil. There is no force out there that is good, that is as big as it, as strong as it, as powerful as it, or has the abilities to do what it can do. Why is this actually taking place? Why are we, as a sentient race of humans, being manipulated and destroyed so willfully, so purposefully, and there are many, many, many good people that are asleep, that are unconscious. And to such a large degree, well, number one, we're born asleep, and if we're not, hey, we're traumatized so bad as children waking up or being born into this world that it shuts a lot of things off. Some say that we're born with our third eye open, and that it's the world that shuts it off. When you think about it, we're just the meat sacks that were created and thrust into a construct where there's some epic battle between good and evil, and we're born blank, we're ignorant, we don't know dick for the most part, yet we have to be subjected to a world where that which has been in control of it for thousands of years has been raping and killing, sacrificing to their demons or their demon gods, the very children of the species that we are. That's how bad and all-encompassing the mind control, the deception, the lies, the inversions, that's how complete, total, and all-encompassing they are. It has got the vast majority of the human species so deeply in a trance that when evil is killing and raping and bloodletting our children, people don't see it. When evil is destroying our worlds, our societies, our countries, our sovereignties, our economic systems, our rights, our freedoms, humans don't even see it. In fact, they become accepting of it. And those of us that see, that become vocal about it, whether we're telling people out in our communities, or we're telling people in videos, social media, or whatever mechanism by which we can communicate with each other. Something doesn't want us to know. It doesn't want us to wake up. It wants to enslave us. It wants to control us. It wants to cull a substantial portion of the population. It wants to do this. It is its goal. And the masses do not see this. And I believe that the reason that they don't see it is so largely because of what has been done. And that we were given enough intelligence to know that we're suffering, when we're suffering. And with our intelligence and our ability to see all this shit, think about how much energy it puts out that ends up paralyzing them and keeping them in a low quicksand frequency, if you will. It just keeps sucking you in, sucking you in, sucking you in. And then we're not imbued with any knowledge of how to thwart it, how to fix it. We're not given the tools. Everything that we have been told, everything that we have been taught to believe, to perceive, has been so purposefully crafted to deceive the entire species. It is so repugnant and sickening that a place like this could even exist, and that what has been happening to us could ever be allowed or permitted to happen. They're not benevolent. And if there are some out there that are, they're not powerful enough, technologically advanced enough, to be able to lend us a hand. Hell, maybe they're dealing with their own version of this shit too. So I'll end with the same questions I opened with. What really is a life that's born in this place? And what is it actually for? What purpose were we created for? What purpose do we actually serve? In the grand cosmic community? Or in the fucking food chain of life? See, if it was a soul school, why would we be wiped each time? I mean, hell, here, when children go through kindergarten, through 1st, 2nd, 3rd, all the way up to 12th grade, each and every successive grade, if that's the right word, that you go into is based off of and teaches you beyond what you learned the previous year. And it stacks on top of each other. But hey, if we're a species that keeps getting recycled and wiped, formatted, it lends itself to why we keep repeating the same goddamn things over and over and over and over and over and over and over, cycle after cycle after cycle. It's like this is a big aquaponics type of scenario. We're the food in that the loosh, the energy that we produce, that's what's being farmed. Humans are what's being farmed. Think of how much energy the men are putting out when they go to war and just killing each other. Think of how much energy is being put out by the tens of thousands of children that go missing every year. Think of how much energy is being put out when the entire population so largely is put in, kept in a state of fear because of all the horrible shit that goes on. All of the horrible, evil, parasitic, rancid, demon souls that run this place do generation after generation after generation. And they have done it so unchecked for so long, they've gotten to a point now where they're overtly doing it with impunity. No fear of the masses rising up. No fear of the sleeping giant waking up. No fear of the consequences of their actions, in as much as we're told, karma, you can't do bad things, it's going to come back on you. Can't do bad things because your next lifetime is going to happen to you. They act with impunity, and they have no fear of the things that the vast majority of humans are conditioned, taught, or indoctrinated to believe about what will happen if you do bad things. Meaning karma, next life you're going to get it, you'll go to hell, or whatever it is that people believe that prevent them from doing quote-unquote bad things. How is it that everyone that runs this plane of existence, that runs this fucking planet, that's involved with the shit that they're involved with, seems to operate with absolutely no fear of that happening to them? So I say again, what are we really? Why were we put here, really? What were we created for? When you compare the things that we're told to the things that actually manifest, that actually exist, that actually take place. I just sat down to take a shit about an hour ago. My mind started thinking, and this is what came out. Anyway, take it easy, people. It's all love and light. God loves you, and Jesus is coming to save you.